Hi all. I hope you've had a blessed day today. Tonight I'd like to talk about 2 Samuel chapter 18, verse 33. And the king was much moved and went up to the chamber over the gate and wept. And as he went, thus he said, O my son, Absalom, my son, Absalom, would God I had died for thee, O Absalom, my son, my son. In life, nothing is more emotional than the death of a loved one. Dealing with the death of someone you love, a child, a spouse, a parent, a close friend. This is probably one of life's most difficult times. Your head is filled with so many thoughts, feelings, emotions. You can't seem to wrap your head around the fact that you'll never have another conversation. You'll never share another meal. You'll never spend another holiday with that loved one. You're not ready to say goodbye. And you can't possibly begin to even deal with the grief that's overtaken you. But while you're trying to deal with that grief and you're trying to wrap your head around this very emotional event, there are a few things you need to remember and understand. God has taken the worst thing that can happen to us, death, and he's turned it into the best thing that can happen to us, eternal life. In this verse, it's David the king who keeps repeating over and over, my son, Absalom. If only I had died in your place. The agony that he feels for the loss of his son, and the sorrow that he feels knowing that a loved one has died. It's something we all feel. Now, being a Christian doesn't mean that you have to be heartless and stoic. God doesn't want you to hide your emotions. And he doesn't want you to put on a happy face. He wants you to come to him completely honest about your feelings. And it's never useless to cry out to him. He holds the power to bring hope and peace to your soul in ways that you can never conceive. Also, be very aware that in our time of grief, it's also a great time for temptation. The enemy lurks around, and he likes to use our time of grief because that's when we're at our weakest spiritually. He wants to tempt us to question God's goodness and love. Look for signs of doubt, anger, bitterness. When these start to creep up in your mind, get down on your knees. Pray to Jesus for forgiveness, strength, and protection. And look beyond this time of grief. Look beyond this time on earth, that there is an eternity of God waiting for us on the other side. When you gave your life to God and you entered into his family, you started on a journey that won't end until you come to your final resting place. The heartbreaking pains of life in this dark and fallen world are going to end. Sadness and death will end. Pain and sickness will end. Someday, when we're all together in heaven, grief will be a thing of the past. You have a bright future that does not include sadness and death. Remember, Jesus endured death on the cross so that we can live with hope. And in the face of crushing grief, we would be able to have hope, strength, and courage. And because of what Jesus has done for us, good things can happen even in the darkest moments of our life. So please, I tell you all, don't let grief rob you of life. Choose to live and experience the grace that Jesus has died to give you. And know in your heart of hearts that the loved ones that go to sleep before us, we will see them again and we will be with them again, as long as we keep the hope alive in our hearts that there is something else beyond this grief. God bless you all.